Well, hello! Welcome back to my channel, Jashana here, to talk about some friggin' books. I have a bookshelf that arrived that I want to put together, but I wanted to film before I got way too, number one, sweaty, and number two, tired. So I just have pieces of bookshelf right outside of viewing range. So yeah, here we are, doing some filming. This is a tag that I believe I've seen other people do over the year. I don't know when it was created. I'm not sure. Maybe it's new and I'm just making shit up and imagining things. But I just recently saw Robin Reads do this tag. Definitely go check her out if you have not already. She is lovely and I really enjoy her content. She just seems like a very nice person. Anyway, this isn't a shout out, but there's a little mini shout out. Go check out Robin Reads. I will have her video linked down below. This was actually a tag that I believe was created on Goodreads though, by, I'll have that linked too. She had it linked. I think it's Buy to Books. I'm not sure, but I'll have it linked down below. I have not really read through the questions. I just wanted to do a tag and this one seemed fun and interesting and I hadn't done it before, so here we are. The first question is, how many books is too many books for a series? In my opinion, obviously. For me, I think it all depends on the series. This is kind of a cop-out answer, but if the author does it well, it could continue on for however long it needs to, right? But I do think that when you get up to 7+ books in a series, it starts to get wonky and it starts to get like, did we need to do this necessarily? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So for me, I would say a good range. I don't mind having like a 4, 5, 6 book series. That's like fun, because if it's something I love, then I just get more of it, right? But when you get above 6, it starts to get daunting also. So I'm gonna go with a 5 to 6 range is like good. So 7 and more tends to be too many for me, but not always. Throne of Glass is what, 8 books? Well, 7 plus the Assassin's Blade prequel novellas. So it's like right there at the cutoff. Number 2, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I love a good cliffhanger. If the main events of this individual book have been wrapped up, we've had some questions answered, we've had some plot points resolved, all of that, then we throw in a cliffhanger of like some new information right at the end. I kind of love that shit. I love it a lot. But if things haven't been really resolved in the current book, and then you just are like, till next time, that irritates me. Something needs to have been resolved. I need to have gotten something out of this book regarding the plot, the larger plot. Something needs to have happened and been solved, been answered, whatever, right? Number 3 is hard copy or paperback. I tend to lean more towards paperbacks, definitely to read. They're just easier to read. You can flop them open and, unless you have like these guys. But yeah, these UK paperbacks, like I don't mind cracking my spines, and I do. Like I'm gonna content warning for spine cracking. Like I just crack them all the way open, and I don't mind doing that. But it is better when it's a larger floppy paperback. But either way, paperbacks are just easier to read. So my favorite books that I know I'm going to reread a whole bunch, I will buy them in hardcover and in paperback. Anyway, so yeah, I do like to have both, but for rereading, I'm pretty much always gonna pick up the paperback if I have it. So I do prefer those. But obviously hardcovers last longer, as far as the longevity of the actual physical book itself. So, I like to have both. Number 4, favorite book. Several. I just made a video about this. If I remember, I'll put a card. I forget all the time. But City of Girls definitely is in my top 5. Ring Shout, I don't remember if it was in my top 5. House in the Cerulean Sea, the Throne of Glass series, the Hunger Games. These are all in my like top 5-ish. Number 5, my least favorite book. Least favorite book I've ever read. The Beautiful and Damned comes to mind. garbage. Hot garbage. Breakfast at Tiffany's. What else? What did I hate? Well, we all know I didn't love Rage of Dragons because I posted a ranty review that made the fanboys real pissed. Whatever. Yeah, those are the ones that come to mind, I guess. It's funny because I'll like rage about books, but then, oh, well, no, because it was just the character. I was going to say Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, but like the other elements of the book, the other characters and the dialogue and the plot, I enjoyed all of that. But the main character, hated. So yeah, I guess I'll go with Beautiful and the Damned because that one just, oh God. The whole book, I didn't like it. I don't know why I finished it. Number 6, love triangles. Yes or no? I don't mind love triangles, honestly, if they're done well in a way that makes sense. I don't like it when they feel contrived, which they can often feel forced or contrived, where it's like, I don't really buy it. I don't really believe that this character would be into this character as well as this other one. I don't see why. I don't get it. You know, I don't love that. And so there's been several books where there is a love triangle that I just don't care about. The Hunger Games is a great example. I just couldn't be bothered to ship Katniss and Gale at all. 0%. Like, no, in no way, shape, or form. So, you know, a lot of times I think it's not done in a really believable way for me. But I think that if it's done in a believable way, like that really happens in real life where you might be interested in more than one person at a time. Especially if you're a teenager and you got crushes on all the people and oh my God, and he flirted with me and then she flirted with me and oh my God. You know, it's realistic. At least it was in my experience. Oh, Lord. Number 7, the most recent book that you just couldn't finish. What was the most recent book I DNF'd? Oh, it was Romanov by Nadine Brandeis. I got about 50% of the way through. I wasn't hating it. I don't think it's a bad book. If someone was interested in it, I would say, hey, yeah, check it out. Read it. It just wasn't working for me. A book you're currently reading is number 7. I am currently reading 3 books. I am reading Age of War, the paperback by Michael J. Sullivan. I need to finish it. I am also rereading, oh, that's a reread, and then I'm also rereading Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks. I have the paperback of this also, and I'm reading the paperback. And then because I couldn't resist, and because I've had the ARC for several months, and the book is about to be published, I think next month, I started today The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nevo, and let me tell you, okay, I am about 15% of the way into this book already in one sitting, which for me is not the norm necessarily. And the only reason I stopped is because my eyes have been fucking with me today and like getting out of focus and like can't really see. It's fine. But oh my God, I'm loving it so far. I love The Great Gatsby. If you didn't know, you're probably gonna start seeing a lot more Great Gatsby reimaginings. The copyright has expired, I believe is what I saw. So people are allowed to do it a lot more. I think it expired in 2019, right? Was it? Oh no, it expired January 2021. So on January 1st, it expired. So now it's public domain, so it can be freely adapted by anyone. And I'm really excited about that because I do love The Great Gatsby. But you know, it's of its time and it's not like very diverse and whatnot. But I just love the atmosphere of it, the writing of it. I don't know what it is because I've read other F. Scott Fitzgerald and not loved it, The Beautiful and the Damned being one that I fucking hated. But I love The Great Gatsby, and the newer movie also I really love. And again, I think it really captured the atmosphere of it. I talked about that in my like adaptations that I like. And that's one where I almost like the movie adaptation more than the book, but it's like right on par. But yeah, The Chosen and the Beautiful is a reimagining of it told from Jordan Baker's perspective, but in this book there is magic, and Jordan Baker is a Vietnamese queer woman, and I'm loving it so far. The vibes are there, the Great Gatsby atmosphere is there, the writing is, oh my God, I'm living my best Gatsby life. Number 9, last book you recommended to someone. I mean, I kind of just recommended The Chosen and the Beautiful. To like an individual, I guess The Blade itself, which I haven't even read. But I did the little book swap date with this gentleman, and I got The Blade itself for him, just based on what I know of it and what he was saying his reading tastes are. I was like, I think you will enjoy this. So that's the last one to an individual that I gave a recommendation. Number 10, oldest book you've read as far as the publication date. I mean, I've read the Iliad and the Odyssey. Those are pretty old. I've read Shakespeare, But I mean, like the physical book itself, 1969. I don't know. Maybe Slaughterhouse-Five is like the physical book. Yeah, it's probably that. It's probably Slaughterhouse-Five. If we're talking about like the physical book was published, whatever. If we're talking about like a book that just was written a long time ago, I mean, the Iliad and the Odyssey. 11, newest book you've read for publication date. I mean, I'm reading one right now that hasn't been published yet. Does that count? Number 12 is favorite author. I cannot possibly pick just one. I mean, Elizabeth Gilbert, I've only read so far 2 of her fiction works, but I have really loved both of them and obviously obsessively loved City of Girls. P. Djeli Clark, T.J. Klune, again, I've only read 2 of his books, and one of them did have an element to it that I didn't love, but the writing, I still love his writing style. John Gwynne, thus far, has not disappointed me. Michael J. Sullivan, thus far, has not disappointed me. Really love, for adult epic fantasy, if you really like some great character writing, great character development, please, for the love of God, pick up this series. Hi, Kippa. Here's Kippa, by the way. She's a little scruffy still. Oh, baby. I'm a little scruffy, skinny baby still. We're working on fattening me up. She's the stray that I took in. Huh, baby? Yeah? You little rag doll? Little dirty rag doll? She's like, please put me down. Sarah J. Maas. Yeah. Jandy Nelson. All right, I'll stop. 13. That's a 3. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. Number 13. Borrowing books or buying books? I do a mix of both. The last couple years, I have bought more books than normal just because I've been able to a little bit more. But I still use the library a fair amount. Right now, I haven't used the library in about a month. Really, I have 1 library book, but I'm trying to get through some other stuff, some unread books that I have on my own shelves, the books that I've been buying. So yeah, I kind of am on a library pause at the moment, but typically I borrow from the library a lot in a given year. I fully support utilizing your library if you have a good one, which I do, so that's why I like to take advantage of it. In the Phoenix area, we have a really good library system. 14, a book that you dislike that everyone else seems to love. I mean, various, so many. Fireborn by Rosaria Munda, but I didn't dislike that. I gave it like 3 stars or 3.25 or something. So I didn't dislike it, but that's just one where basically everybody else I see read it in my circle gives it 5 stars and they just are blown away, and I felt like it was good. It was fine. So I didn't dislike it though. 16, a book you can always reread. Do we know? Legitimately, I will probably read this book once a year on average for the most of the rest of my life, I would imagine. Another one I could always reread, House in the Cerulean Sea, I think. I have yet to reread it, but I'm itching to. The Hunger Games, it holds up every time I have reread it. 17, can you read while hearing music? I can if it is instrumental music and if it is turned down. I do like to read using those like ambient channels on YouTube that'll have some sort of scenery and like sounds, you know, street sounds or whatever, like snow falling, countryside, whatever. And some of them do have a little bit of ethereal music in the background or classical music in the background. And as long as it's turned down pretty low and there is no words, yes, I can. 18, one point of view or multiple points of view? Depends on the book, I think. There have been books where there's too many points of view. I'm like, some of these I don't give a shit about and they don't really matter. But then there's some times where I think it would have benefited the book a lot. And that is the case for a recent reread, the Grisha trilogy. I think it would have been so much better to have at least also had Mal's point of view. But yeah, so it depends, but I don't have a strong preference one way or the other. Depends on the story. 19, do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? Definitely over multiple days. The last time I read a book in basically one sitting in one day was Bad Romance by Heather Demetrios. I was just sucked in, and it's a contemporary, so there's not as much going on with all the world building and shit. I do tend to finish contemporaries in a quicker amount of time. Books where there's not a bunch of magic and shit or fantasy stuff happening. Otherwise, though, it can take me anywhere from 3 to 12 days to read one book. And I think that's why I tend to read more than one at a time. I don't know. I hop and skip around to different things depending on my mood. And 20 is, who do you tag? I'm going to tag, let me try to think of some people that I have not said in a minute. I feel like I'm just thinking of the same people. I'm gonna tag Ingrid at Ingrid Inspired, Neeks, Desiree at Libri Labra, Ashley at Don't Have a Degree in Reading, and that's all. And you if you want to do it. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.